welcome to the new tutorial of the intermediate series for Python programmers. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about the Deque module for collections. So Deque basically, they are a very well optimized replacement for lists. So why they're used instead of list. So we used Deque instead of list because when it comes to add the elements in at the end or at the beginning of the list, or sorry, beginning of any iterable object, so these Deque are very faster as compared to the list. But if you talk about to randomly access the elements from the list, to randomly access the elements, then we use the lists. So let's get started with the Deque. So hey guys, I have created a list in which I have those three elements A, B and C. So now, and you can see here I have imported these Deque from collections. So let's get started with the list. So the first I'll convert this list into a Deque. So for doing that, we have to just call the Deque keyword and then the list, which is this. So instead of this, you can also directly pass any value, just like you can pass a string too. So first let me just give this pass a string and let me just print it. So if I say print, and if I do this, and if I print it, so you can see, yes, you can see that all the individual objects are printed as the list. So yes, this is how Deque works. So just let me now just pass this list which I have created, and if I print this again, so you can see that yes, I'm getting a list which has been converted into a Deque. So now let's use the append function. So append, basically, you know that it is used to add the elements, whether you want to use elements at the end or at the beginning. So first let me just add elements. So if I just say only append, let's like d.append, so it will add the elements at last. So if I say this, that 4, and if I print it, and now if I say print d, and if I do this, okay, sorry, and if I do this, yes, you can see that a new string of 4 has been added to my list. So, and now for adding another element at the starting of the list, so what I have do is I have just say d.append left, and if I do pass any value, just like say that I want to add 5 to my string, 5 which is a numerical value to my list, and if I now print this new list, you can see, okay, so it's append left. I've just append left, not append left, it's append left. Append, okay, it's sorry guys, it's spelling mistake, it's left. Okay, this now should work, and yes, numerical value of 5 has been added at the starting of my list. So now the question that arises that why can't we add the number in the list, in the normal list, like this, doing this append and etc. So if you want to do that, you can just basically use the list, but the problem is that we don't use those for doing this, because the Deque, basically in Deque you can use this functions and to add numbers at last or at the beginning in the list, in the normal list. You have to just basically run a for loop and then create an empty string, an empty list, and then you have to just basically append those lists into those array, or the list. So now let's say, guys, talking about the append. Now let's talk about, let me just remove, okay, let's do like this only. So now let's basically pop out an element from it. Now let's use the pop element function. So now let's say that you want to pop an element from the list. So if I do only this pop dot pop, if I call this, then it will just basically pop the last element from the list, from the DQ. Sorry, not from the list, from the DQ. So now if I run it, and you can see that this my fourth element, which was appended at last, has now been removed. So just let me print this here only before my pop. If I just print this, you can see that there was an element 4, which was this appended at last, and when I called this dot pop function, then it was popped out or removed out from the DQ. Now let's say that we want to basically remove or just pop the first element from the DQ. So we have to just basically call dot pop left, and if we run it, you can see that yes, now the 5, which was a numerical value, has been removed from the DQ. So that was the pop function. And now there is one more function, which is a clear function, so which will clear the DQ created. So if we use this, and now if we print, then you can see that we are getting an empty DQ, which was first we had an DQ with these elements, and now we called this dot clear function, and now there's the DQ is empty. Okay, so now let's use the extend function. So let me just remove this pop. Okay, so extend function, I'll explain in a bit. So what does this extend function does? It also basically adds the numbers, but the difference between this append and extend is that the extend basically it adds the whole it adds multiple elements, unlike the append here, because here in append we can add only a single element, but in the extend we have to just create a new list. In that list I'll just create my element. Let's say that these are my elements 1, 2 and 3, and now if I print this DQ, the new DQ, then you will see that 1, 2, 3 has been added. The multiple elements, these are my multiple elements which I added here, extended here, has been successfully added to my DQ. Okay, so now let's say that I want to extend the front portion of this DQ, so we have to just call the extend left. So I'll just copy this, and I'll do this, and I'll use extend left. And now here guys, I'll just create this, like sorry, not this, it will be code and then initiatives. Okay, and if I run it, you can see that initiatives code 5 ABC 1, 2 and 3 has been successfully added to my DQ. Okay, so this was all about the extend function. So now there's one more function called rotate function. So this rotate function basically it so first let me clear this one out, and just let me extend this list. Okay, so now I've extended my list and I've added some more elements like 1, 2, 3, Satya, hello and 8, and I've converted this list into the DQ. And now the function I was talking about was rotate function. So the rotate function, which goes like this, the d dot let me just give a space, so d dot rotate, and what this function does is that it rotates the elements of the DQ by, let's say, by positive or the negative numbers. So let's say that if the number entered if the parameter entered here is the positive, so it will rotate all the elements by the amount to the right, and if the number or the parameter entered here is negative, so it will rotate the elements of the DQ to left. So let's give me an example. So let's say that 1, let me just give 1, and now Okay, so now first let me print this dq2, and I'll print the rotated dq2 to compare basically. So now you can see that I have given t dot rotate a positive number of 1. So what I said was that if a positive number is given, so it will rotate the elements, all the elements by the amount, this amount 1 to the right. So you can see that all these elements have been shifted to right. You can see that to right, so a will shift to this right, so it has gone here, and 8 has shifted to this right and it has come in front, and like and all these function and all these elements of the dq have been shifted to their right. So now let's say that I give the change this rotate to 2, so all these elements will shift to the right by 2. So you'll see, okay, you'll see that this hello which was here has been shifted to the right, which was 1 and 1 2, so it has come in front, and all the elements have been, yes, and also all other elements have been shifted to the right. So now let's say that I give the element, so the number here a negative number. So let me say -1. So if I give this -1 a negative number, so all the elements will basically shift to the left by -1. So what, by 1, okay, so not -1, by 1, to the left by 1. So what I was saying that this you can see that this b has been shifted to the a, and this a left and has gone to the position of a, and this a has shifted to its left and it straight went to the last, and this 8 has been shifted to its left and it went to like this. So this is the rotate function which you can use. So okay, so there's one more thing guys, the max length basically. So so let me just use that function too. Sorry, it's not a function, it's a parameter basically, the parameter used in the dq function. So it goes like max length, let me just give the value of 6. Okay, and if I print it, okay, and if I print it, and it's showing me the only the first 6 elements here, because the max length which I gave was 6. So if so it's showing me the value till only, let's say, to 8, like 1 2 3 Satyat, hello, and 8. So this was the dq, it's giving me basically the max length when I used. And now let's change this one, and let me just give 8, and if I use this, yes, then you can see that this max length has also used this b and c. So this max length basically it reduces, it exceeds the number basically you can see that the last elements, and it basically replaces with that. So okay, okay, so the reason why the a b and c, okay, so the a is not showing here as I've given the max length of 8, is like the same that when we use the max length, so basically it needs to replace or to remove some elements from the dq. So it basically removes the element from the first, so from the left hand side to right hand side, it basically removes that. So like here also, like when I gave the max length of 6, so it removed the, because there were sorry, 9 elements present, I think 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, yes, 9 elements were present. So it removed 3 elements from the dq from left hand side to right hand side, which were a b and c. So that was about the max length guys. So let me just use one more thing with extent. So let's say that I'm extending basically. So sorry, extend, and let's say that I'm giving a new element which is 80, oh no, not 80, 55, and you'll see the result. Okay, end object is not iterable. Okay, I got it. Okay, so I've given a string of 5 over here, and now when I extend this, when I extend the deque, and now if I print it with the max length of 8, so yes, so okay, so now it basically it has removed. Okay, where's the result? Okay, so now it has basically removed the first two elements, because the total number of elements were present over here were 9, and now the max length we gave 8, so it automatically removed the first element, which was a. And now we extended the deque, we extended the deque and given a new element over here of 5. So the now the as the max length was only 8, so it also removed the new element from the element of the start, which was b, and it added the element 5 at the last. So that's how the max length works with the extend function. You can also use the append function too. You can also the append function, rather it should here we have to use this append function, because I'm just adding a single element over here. So you can use append function, rotate function, and then pop function. You can use all those functions with them and do some complex coding with the deque, and just gain more experience in it. So that's it for guys, and that's all for the deque tutorial, and this was the last tutorial for the intermediate series of the series. So I hope you all like this series. So I'll also make a new series of expert Python programmers. So if you like this video, then please do subscribe to Code Initiatives, and share this video with your programmer friends. Till then, goodbye, take care, and meet you next time.